This is the One Episode Rule, a podcast about first impressions. I am Magpie. Hello, how are you? I haven't watched anything. I'm not doing my job. I had to go
Uh,
to a place and move heavy objects for a week.
yeah, it's been one of those weeks. I have terrible news, and that's that I didn't really watch anything either. I
Oh,
didn't
good.
even read anything. We're
Content.
great content hosts. We're
And
this
it's and it's just us this time. You get nothing.
you get nothing. I watched I I watched I watched videos about anime slightly adjacent, probably.
You watched the Super Eye Patch Wolf
Yeah.
in which a manga was mentioned.
A manga was mentioned. Listen, Super Eye Patch Wolf did convince me that I need to read Dragon Ball, but I haven't listened. I just haven't done it yet.
Uh,
It's on my plate.
That's something.
It's on my
Um,
plate, okay? That's as
uh,
best as you get this week. I was tired.
I was pretty exhausted. Do you want some news?
Yeah, let's have some
Do we want to
news.
fill in some news? I saw
Yeah.
this happening in real time on Twitter, which is why I'm covering it because it's pretty interesting. Which is girls love author in tears after struggling manga sells out thanks to fans worldwide.
Oh wow.
So I saw the rise of Love Bullet on Twitter.
Mhm. Yeah.
And yeah, the premise is that is that girls who do not find love in life are given a second chance to become cupids and help others, thereby ensuring a second chance at life themselves. Um,
And everyone liked that, huh?
and everybody liked that after they were told about it
Ah.
because the author the author informed fans on Twitter that she was going to take a month off to promote the book because they she had been told that sales were bad
Oh.
and she was afraid it was going to be canceled.
And they poured out their love and support, just
Uh,
like little cupids or whatever.
and yeah, the Twitter Yuri lover community
Oh.
decided to fucking destroy the sales goal and buy every extant copy of the book. So,
Oh.
um,
Oh, one Twitter did that, huh?
yeah, well, I mean, the website,
I mean,
the
sure.
the community of interested lesbians. Um,
Good for them. Good for them.
but yeah, mostly good for the author. I'm glad to see
Yeah.
somebody new to the medium managed to get enough reach to keep their story going.
Yeah. We love to see it.
I saw a few panels. It looks cute.
Yeah.
Um, also relatively bittersweet. Um,
Aw.
other good news. Keiichi Arawa's City manga is going to get an anime adaptation by Kyoto Animation. This is good on two fronts because uh, that's the author of Nichijou.
Yeah.
We're getting Nichijou
Hell
again,
yeah.
except with 20 somethings in an urban area, uh,
Oh, that's going to actually
which
kind of
has
rule.
which has the potential to be extremely fucking funny. And also, it's Kyoto's animation's first new project in 6 years.
Oh, wow. I didn't
Uh,
know that.
we have covered Kyoto Animation's troubles. I'm glad to see them making new stuff, uh, despite having their whole fucking building burned down that one time.
Yeah, that did happen. I forgot about
And I
that.
am I am always a big fan of them, even whenever they make slop. Uh, what did I see the other day that was made by Kyoto Animation? I was just like, oh, that's a shame. Oh, it was Dragon Maid.
Oh, they did that one,
Yeah,
huh?
they did
Oh.
make Maid, and you know what? It is beautifully animated. I'll give them that.
Well, Kyoto Animations, I hope this one treats you better. I hope this one's better. I hope this one's better in general, for general
Oh, it
reasons.
will almost certainly be. So what else? Oh, yes, and finally, the amazing digital circus has revealed that it is getting a webtoon and manga. I will remind you
Oh,
that there are two episodes of the amazing
a
digital circus.
manga. I was wondering why you just suddenly said that one, because I didn't know that was anime adjacent, except, I mean, I guess if they're making a that's
Hmm.
unusual. Interesting. I mean,
Yeah, I feel like I don't the immediate success of this I don't feels very strange to me. It feels like some executive somewhere smells money.
I mean, like, I saw what one episode did to the internet, so, like, yeah,
I'm just suspicious that we're about to have our brains beat in with this.
maybe. I mean, I'm willing to give it a chance. I have not consumed this show at all, but
I
it's
also heard a
coming out on my
rumor
birthday.
also heard a rumor somewhere that this was created by one of the artists who made a bunch of analog horror shit that was extremely freaky.
Yeah, that tracks. That
Um,
tracks. Hmm.
but
Well,
uh, but yeah,
kind
that's
of like like
mostly good news, I
mostly good
guess.
news. Like, I would say that that's a pretty high score in the news department overall. Like, most of those just like all positives
It's
there.
pretty good feeling news. I had the ability to drop some bad news, and I simply
Oh,
chose not to.
ah,
There are nasty things happening on Twitter.
ooh. Well, let's just look away. We do not see it.
I
Do
simply
we?
did not want to harsh your mellow about stuff that you liked.
Well, do you
Um,
have bad news in the form of some
oh,
horrors we can witness?
oh yeah, do I have bad news? So I've decided since we don't have some of our more sensitive hosts on, um, the remaining hosts have a high bullshit tolerance. We are God's
Yes.
strongest soldiers.
We are.
I thought we would start working on the section of viewer suggestions that I am classifying as personal attacks.
Okay.
We're going to start with Maburaho, and if you suggested this, you know who you are.
I have an idea who might have suggested this. Um, thank you. Well,
Don't
I'll
thank
hold
them.
my thanks. I'll hold my thanks.
There's something almost comforting about the idea that even back as far as 2003, these harem anime had the same brown-haired, brown-eyed, completely tasteless, idiot, dipshit, waste of breath protagonist.
Yeah.
I
Go,
I
girl, give
feel
us nothing.
I feel nothing for Kazuki, but what I do feel is echoes of the Rent-A-Girlfriend man. So I could beat him up a little.
I feel like he's even less pathetic than that man.
Oh,
Honestly, I
oh, I
feel
just
like
said.
he's at least
Oh yeah, I just said like a
only
little
a
bit.
little bit.
Like I might give him a swirly. I'm not gonna ask him to bite the curb.
He's he's like an ancestor. I can
I
see it.
I can't even summon up enough anger.
I know. Again, he
There's
go girl, give us nothing.
there's nothing. Uh, shall we attempt to explain what the show is?
Her. I mean,
Would you
there's
would
like pretty much like half of the episode you can like summarize, and then the rest of the episode is just like, okay, this is gonna be one extremely long bit.
read this one?
Okay, alright.
Bit is generous.
It is generous, I will say. Okay. In the world of Maburaho, everyone is born with the ability to use magic, and are thus labeled magicians. However, the magical ability of each person is not equal. The number of times you can use magic determines the amount of respect you receive, and since one's magical power is determined by birth at birth by traits and genetics, those who have a bloodline stemming from famous magicians are highly sought after. Having the lowest magic count in Aoi Academy, Kazuki Shikamori is looked down upon by his classmates and seen as a nearly worthless magician. However, his bloodline consists of many great magicians throughout the ages. meaning that while he may not be a great magician, his offspring could be. This leads to him being sought after by 3 different young women. Yuna Miyama, a transfer student who declares herself his wife upon arrival. Rin Kamishiro, a prideful swordsman woman of a traditional family who wants to kill him so she will be free to pursue her own desires.
Valid.
And Kuriko Kazutsubaki, Kazutsubaki, a member of an often influential family who bluntly tries to seduce him for his genes. Now he has to deal with not only the jealousy of all the guys in his school, but also various women chasing after him.
Kazutsubaki. That sounds like a Street Fighter move. That's what Chun-Li says when she does her spinning bird kick.
Yeah. So,
Um,
yeah.
so this is Drek. And I picked this out because I cheated a little bit. I hadn't seen it, but I had seen the Mother's Basement on it.
I think I also watched that video.
We
Because
we
once I saw it happening, I was like, oh, it's this one.
I knew about
Oh.
I knew about Jeff Thu's childhood grudge against Maburaho. Um, so yeah, let's explain basically what's going on. Is
Sure.
that in our first scene is on a hot summer day, and we see on a bridge 2 children, uh, and one of them has just trained himself to bring forth snow in the middle of July. Uh,
It's kind of like
Presumably,
it's a gentle scene. There's just like nice music. There's little watermelon slices.
it's nice. This is the
It's
last
peaceful.
niceness you're going to get.
Yes.
Um,
Take refuge in this moment.
and it will be ruined later. From there, we cut to a young man waking up to go to school, except he doesn't wake up. He sits up in bed and says, I have to get up, and then he falls back to sleep immediately.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And we cut to the school, and we see it's what the funny thing is, I love an anime that gives us nothing. I love an anime that presents an interesting premise and refuses to do anything with it.
Uh-huh.
Because the world has not changed in the fucking least. It is the same world. Despite the fact that the teacher at the beginning is quoting like Robespierre about who
Yeah.
wrote like some sort of French revolutionary paper about
Mm,
magicians,
none of
and
this
just
is.
like, but no, we're going to
No,
a
we're gonna just
there,
have high schoolers.
we're going to the same high school every anime takes place in the same featureless white building.
Yes.
And we see kids arriving late to school and flying over the gate as it's being closed and like coming out of being birds and stuff.
And yeah, pretending to be in class by having like a paper doll in your seat,
Yeah,
that kind
yeah,
of thing.
yeah. The guy explaining the rights of magicians and such, and a girl turns in her seat to look at the guy who sits behind her, who is staring blankly forward and pokes him, and he just turns into a paper doll, which is always fun. Which she is disgusted and immediately commits the same sin herself,
Yes.
because she becomes invisible and leaves the room. Um, Meanwhile, our boy Kazuki has awakened and realized, oh shit, I have to go to school. I'm going to run past the house mistress who wears a veil and has purple hair. This will not be revealed in the first episode, so it is pointless to even examine. But she's going to be a character.
I mean, you could look at her and know she was going to be a character.
Um,
They
she just
focused on her too much.
she just keeps appearing.
He goes, "Hey, Miss Manager." Literally, I
Gotta go to
wrote it on
school.
my paper like that.
Um, hard knowledge bargain.
Did you
But
watch the dub or the sub, by the
I
way?
watched the sub of this. I'm usually a
Okay.
sub kind of guy.
I
Did you watch the dub?
I watched the dub and
Is
I
it
gotta
shit?
admit, yeah, it's I gotta admit it had its charm. I mean, derogatory maybe,
Very good.
kind of funny.
But
You love a silly dub. That's all. Uh,
yes, he arrives at school. He apparently doesn't need to do a magic spell to get through the locked gate. But
uh-huh.
he but as he's coming in, there's a scene where so I'm gonna call the school. He usually this would be a school nurse, but he is apparently a school doctor, and I believe him to be some sort of sex predator.
Yes.
Already,
This is a horrible school for perverts.
the
They
horrible things are happening. The state has sanctioned this,
yes.
but he is examining. Why they had to disrobe for this, I'm not sure. But he is examining the girls of the first year students with his magic eyeball thing to
Yes.
determine the number of spells that they can cast
In their
uh,
entire
in
lifetime.
their entire
Yes.
fucking life. You can quite literally burn the candle down to a stub.
Yes.
But yeah, and they're numbering in over. All of them are over 1,000. Some of them,
The one girl
the
had like 14,000 or something.
one girl had 14,000. I believe one of our I believe Kuriko had something
Yeah, I think
like 180,000
right.
spells in her. She's a well-built girl of the
She's
Ojo-sama type. Actually, I kind of like her, but we'll get to
she's
that.
funny.
She's pretty funny. She's very business-like. I'll give her that.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, they're doing that, and outside the boy who's missing from class is attempting to peek. He's he's doing a he's doing a look through the door thing so he can see them in their undress. Kuriko has already noticed this and pasted a barrier over the door so they can't do it. Um, our boy Kazuki runs into him and immediately gets roped into his shit because the guy just pushes him around because it's well known that Kazuki can only cast 8 spells.
He's like, "Hey, it's all 8 spells,
All
Kazuki.
8 spells, Kazuki.
You want to peep at girls with me?"
You want to peep at
That's
girls for
not a question.
blackmail material?
Not a question. You are peeping with me.
Use one of your spells to dispel the barrier so that I can peep.
Yep.
Give me one of your internal organs.
Literally, because they like clarify like if
He
you
will
use
turn
your
into
spells up,
ashes and die.
this kills you. This kills the man.
um, and he's just like, I'm not going to do that, and that's also a crime.
Wouldn't that be illegal?
Um, and he is found by the girl from earlier, and they fight because uh, quick disclaimer: if I talk about anybody from their class 2B, just know all of them are shit. I hate them all.
Kinda.
They're all
Yeah.
terrible. Kuriko thinks the same because she just slides the door open, and she's still got her top off, and she just slides the door open, and she's like, "2B, huh?" And she looks down at Kazuki, and she's like, "Oh, one of them's still here."
He's like, I was trying to.
He's just like, "Go Menasai," and he runs away. And we cut to class 2B during in between periods, and the boys are talking. The boys are talking about girls and spells. Uh, and it's basically just like, yeah, we're gonna have the examination later. I'm excited to know about things because my whole life is going to be determined by this. Why do we even bother learning
Uh-huh.
at school? And one of the other guys is just like, well, my goal's out there, and he looks down, and there is a literal samurai woman walking around.
Yes. I was
There
like,
was
whoa.
there was a sort of freedom in character design back in the 2000s when it
Yeah,
came
you could
to
just
anime.
have anime school and like just put a girl with the
She's
sword in there.
she's openly wearing a sword and just not the uniform at all. She's just
Yeah.
wearing a full kimono.
Yeah, she's got the garb.
I think she's wearing a hakama, like she's
Hmm.
wearing samurai pants.
I
But
mean, given that one of the teachers is wearing like a crop top like camisole thing,
I kind of love the teacher because he's just like, man, this is all a
she's
bunch of bullshit.
she seems like so clocked out. She is gone.
um, there's actually a scene with her and the principal in between, shoved in between these. It doesn't matter at all. But he's
Hmm.
just talking about class 2B is such a destructive force. You're going to be responsible for cleaning up their mess. And she's just like, I'll
Hmm.
make the kids do it. And he's just like, what? um,
uh,
uh, and yeah, when they finish that conversation, Kazuki's just like, I'm just gonna go home. I don't
Mhm.
want to be told this shit. I already know. This is just going to be depressing. And the man tries to get him. The doctor is
The
just like, hey,
doctor.
you should do your examination. He's just like, I don't want to do my examination because it make me feel bad.
He's like, sorry,
Uh,
I'm sick. There's blood in my urine, and I gotta go.
there's blood in my piss,
He
and
said
I have a
that.
headache.
I have a headache.
um,
My back's
um,
hurting. I'm throwing up.
I've got angina.
Yeah.
I've got to take some amyl nitrates, but yeah, he just goes back to his. This is very strange because yeah, leave your school and go home, right? If you're sick, leave your school and go to your school's dormitory if you're sick. It's such a weird one because it's just like, what if they don't let you? What if they don't let
I
you in?
mean,
It's just like
I mean,
leave.
if that's where you live, that's like their dorm.
And it's
I
like
don't
go
know.
back to school. I don't believe you. but but yeah, he heads back. And while he's heading back, we see in his room that somebody is vacuuming. Uh, a pink-haired girl is vacuuming.
And beware, the troubles are about to begin.
So the first half of this show is boring. It's bad. It's ugly, actually, as well. This show takes place in the awkward period where Digipaint was starting to become a thing.
Right.
So some of this shit is on cells, and some of it is not. And it looks kind of gross, I think.
Weird. Also, they illustrate the characters like they I swear he has drawn like a 10-year-old boy that he could
he
be
has.
in like in Digimon. He
I
looks like a Digimon character.
I bet if you look through the frames of this, you could find frames where he doesn't have facial features, where he's just sort of a brown
Some
blob.
sort of blobular creature.
Because he's not important. We're illustrating the tits. Um,
Yes. Be shut up everyone. This show is about girls.
um, so yeah, the troubles are going to begin here because he attempts to enter his room and finds an undressed girl, just fully in lingerie, and she and he there's a really long like pause. And yeah, we focus on her heart locket, which is oh hey, the little girl had a heart locket. Oh, it must
Mhm.
be the same girl. We're not going to find this out for 4 episodes. But
Yeah.
he's just like, oh shit, and she screams and he like runs out. He's like, I'm so sorry. And then the only funny thing in the episode happens because he gets
The
halfway down the
scene
hall
is funny.
and then he goes, huh, and he
He's like
just steps backwards. He just reverses himself.
he's
And
like
he's
that
like,
is my room.
it's just like, that's my room. This is the boys' dorm. And he opens the door again, and she says, "Welcome home, Kazuki. Do you want a bath or to eat or?"
Dot dot
Mm.
dot.
And he's just like, "What are you doing in my home?" It's just like, well, I'm your wife, silly. And he's like, I don't. What are you
Like,
talking about? We
no,
can't
you're
even.
not,
It,
ma'am.
it's it's not even legal for us to marry. It's just like, well, shouldn't we live as man and wife? And the dialogue here kind of falls apart.
I'm telling
It's
you, the dub is really funny because she's just like, "Oh well, we could be like it can be symbolic." It
um,
almost feels like some of the like dub parts might have been slightly improvised.
we had some micro scenes slid in between these, which was Rin, the samurai girl, in a darkened room getting a telepathic communication
Yeah.
that she is not happy about. And the Ojutama girl, the blonde with the big haga gazongas, um, receiving a telephone call informing her that yes, Rin has received orders and we must move to counter them. She's like, oh,
Yes.
I see, and she's looking at a yearbook picture of Kazuki, and she's just like, strange guy. Uh, so anyway, he comes into this situation. He's just like, I don't know what to do about this. And she's just like, well, maybe you should come fuck this. Um,
Yeah, that's gonna
uh,
be the rest of the episode,
and
by the way.
he's just like, I couldn't possibly. Oh God! And he falls out backwards, and he starts to scramble away, and he gets pounced on by this blonde. who is much issues a lot less preamble to the
No, she's
situation.
straightforward. She is
She's just
like
she was
actively
already
unbuttoning
unbuttoning.
his
She's just
shirt.
like, we could do it here in the hallway. That'll be fine.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, the girl is what's her name? Is the other girl's name is Yuna. Uh,
Yeah.
he's just like
Pink-haired girl.
he's even more scared of this sexually liberated woman.
Yes,
um,
he's like, oh, but we can't do that. We're in public.
and she's just like, calm down, and we'll start feeling good in a second. Um, she's very business like. She is a fucking surface to air missile with the one target of retrieving this man's semen. Um,
Yes,
but
she
she is
needs him to put a baby in her
she is
right now.
going she is going to thieve this man's cum. But
God,
what
this
do
is
you want?
wild. No, I mean that's the
This is
show.
plot.
That's
Um,
the plot.
Yuna goes to stop her because Yuna at least genuinely adores this humanoid potato salad man. For whatever reason we do not understand. And while they're bickering about it, he manages to worm his way out and flee, only to be caught again by a flying straddle. I think it's a very impressive move to do without destroying uh, your partner's crotches. Um,
She's like, "Oh, you want to do it outdoors, do you, baby?"
I was like, that's quite a turn on.
He's like,
Uh,
"Please."
and then a third woman strikes the protagonist. Uh, but
Almost literally.
but Rin is here for a much more respectable choice because she's just like, if it wasn't for you, I would be free. I've looked up your stats and you disgust me. Prepare to die, you worm.
So yes, she just wants to kill him
Um,
for now.
best girl.
uh
She will either kill him or make him into a more respectable man through hardship. Um,
maybe. We'll see.
So yeah, the three of them have somewhat cross purpose. Although I will say that Kuroko immediately offers an olive branch to, it's just like, you can have him after I fucked him.
Yeah.
I can share. It's fine. And she's just like, no, you can't do
No,
that.
you kid has to
Not
be
to my
thought. It
boy.
has.
It has
She's
to be
like doing
pure.
like it has to be pure. Ding ding ding.
And Kuroko's just like, it absolutely does not. I feel nothing for this man. I just need him to come fuck this right now.
I just need his offspring. That's
You
all.
hold still.
Fucking Lord. Oh man.
Um, the kind of things that she plans to do to him are like that would be like the subject of like a new NSFW comic. Like people are looking for that fetish. Anyway,
Uh, I mean, that might just be in the show, like maybe.
abused by magician woman.
Uh-huh.
um, but yeah, he manages to escape because the punchline of every joke, of every bit here, the closing of every scene is that there is an explosion and it flings Kazuki towards the camera.
Yes. That
Uh,
is
I am
yes.
reliably informed that this will happen at least thrice per episode. Um, so yeah, he manages to escape to back to the school grounds. Honestly, it's the only safe place for him, and he's hiding under a tree, and he's just like, "What? What is going on? What did I do to deserve any of this?" And the doctor man, he happens to be
Oh my
outside of the
god.
infirmary. It's just like, "Oh, hey, Kazuki, you came back. You're feeling better." It's just like, I wouldn't say I'm feeling better. It's just like, well, you should at least take your magic exam. And hey, if you do it now, you'll have the added bonus of it. He throws the curtains open of taking it with the girls from first year, and they all shriek.
Come in here. There's girls. And he's like, that's the last thing I want right now.
The most horrendous man in education just stuck his head out the window and said, "Hey, there's pussy in here."
Come get some of this. I
And
hate
he
all of this.
naturally flees. Although I guess the doctor gets like a peek at him with his fucking weird green lens and sees his soul stank,
And he's
which
like,
makes him.
ooh,
He's just like that's very.
impressive.
He's just like that's very interesting. Uh,
And then I
Kazuki.
think he casually hits on the teacher. Is
No,
that
no,
right there? That's later on.
he'll do that a little
He
later.
does it a couple of
He turns
times in the
around and I
episode.
assume has to immediately defend himself against magical attack, but from a dozen teenage girls who he just revealed to to a
Yes,
stranger outside.
he deserves this.
Um, I hope they pummel him, but
Yes, correct.
you know what? I don't feel that much about Kazuki, but I really could paint this man's brains across
Yeah,
the sidewalk.
yeah,
Um,
me too.
But anyway, so Kazuki, he has nowhere to go. He's walking through the halls and he looks into his own classroom in 2B, and he's just like, "What's going on? Yuta is here, introducing herself," uh, and uh, and he comes out and he's just like, "What are you doing here?" He's just like, "Oh, I'm a transfer student. You see?"
Plot twist.
And she turns around and she's just like, "Hello, I'm Yuna Miyama, or I should say, uh, God, what is his fucking last name? Yuna Shikimori, because I'm Kazuki's wife." This
Every boy in the class is like
this
very
aggroes
angry.
the entire room.
Yes.
Um, all of the men have decided that they're interested in Yuna. Despite the fact that there are perfectly suitable, reprehensible girls already in their own class,
Sure.
um, who will also prove that they are just as morally bankrupt here in a moment.
Yes, because they are about to join the
Um,
club.
so so he's been stun locked long enough for the other two to catch up. And Kuroko is just straight up on her stuff. It's just like, give me that dick now. And Rin's just like, not before I kill him. And she's just like, you can kill him after I fuck.
And now the boys in the class are madder. Because it's like,
Uh,
hey, how come you have 3 girls?
how come you have two girls and one who wants to kill you, which might also be hot? I haven't decided yet.
And oh boy, it's our least favorite character.
And
He's back.
I don't want to say so until I've determined whether it's true, because maybe I don't want to be killed. Um,
Uh
and she looks like she looks like she's on a hair trigger.
huh.
um,
She would just do it.
so so yeah, the doctor comes in. He's just like, "Oh, Kazuki. Oh, you're all here. I see. Well, I'll just go." He's just like, "Please save me. Please explain what's happening." And he's just like, "Well, if I must." He says, and they all sit down. um,
Yep.
and he's just like, "Oh yeah," and that is the scene where he hits on the teacher. He's just like, "We've got plenty of beds down in the infirmary if you want to take a rest in between classes. You should see me more often." Um,
She's like, whatever, dude. She might be the best character.
she says that, but he picks her up later. If you didn't notice,
I mean, eh.
he sits them down and explains it. It's just like, do you know much about your family line, Kazuki? And he's just like, well, we're all Shinto priests. We have been for generations, just slightly less than normal magicians. He's just like, well, yeah, but the thing is that your family line intersects with some of the most important magicians in history, like Hermes Trismegistus and Parcellus and shit,
And there was
married
a
into the family at
quote
some
unquote a Polish woman.
a Polish woman descended from a magician whose name I cannot pronounce.
Yes, exactly.
Um, people from the Han dynasty, just everybody
Mm-hmm.
imaginable. And it's
Yep.
just like, uh, and uh, and Kuroko helpfully enlightens him on this. Is just like, now you can't remember any notable magicians in your immediate family, can you? It's just like, wasn't your dad just slightly less than average? And he's just like, yeah, yeah. And you're at 8, right? And then she just looks down at his junk and he's just like, it's all concentrated in there. You get it?
Jesus Christ.
And
We
she
need
is
your magical dick.
she is seconds from giving him a handy. He's blowing in his ear. He's just
Um,
like, she's just like, your children could be exceptional magicians.
uh-huh.
And
The
that's
result of this, yes.
that's the and yeah, that's the rub here, is that she's been ordered basically to acquire this man's cum at any cost.
At any cost.
And she seems to be enthusiastic about doing so.
She wants to do this. She must.
um,
Every
Rin
other
has,
girl in the class does also aggro at this moment.
yeah, because they're just like, I want the cum. Give us the cum.
Give us the cum.
And and Rin is just like, no, he will not give you the cum. I will take his life. um, and yeah, there's a fight and an explosion. Yuta destroys them all.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and
She goes
is,
crazy mode. Yep.
is this the end of the episode? Is this where it stops? Is this where it finally stops?
Yes, because then the title of the episode appears, and the
Oh,
title of the episode.
He does go home after this. He's just like, wow, what a fucking day, and she's in his fucking apartment again.
Yes. Yeah, the title of the episode is "They Came."
They came.
Which, why? No,
I don't think they did.
No, they didn't. I mean, not this time.
Not that I could tell.
Maybe next time. Who knows?
I don't know. He's a teenage boy. A lot happened to him. Something could have gone off. But
there's some sort of end clip where they're talking and the voices sound like they're in a tube. I don't know.
I didn't
pay attention.
I did not stick around for that.
No.
So, what do we think of Jeff Fu's favorite, Maburaho?
Maburaho. I mean, like
Maburaho.
Like,
I could
this
reveal
is
some things
definitely
to you.
some slop. Like, okay, yeah, like our
This is hog slop from a trough.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean we might as well talk about more, because I don't think either. I mean, I don't know if I'm planning on watching more of this.
Oh,
Couldn't see
absolutely not,
myself
unless I am
doing it.
given drugs to do so.
Yeah, or like specific clips, maybe I would watch, but
Could have
like a compilation.
I could be talked into a watch party if I was given, say, a crate of African malt liquor to consume during it.
Hey,
So,
listeners, you want to fund it?
so it's ugly. It sounds bad. The dub appears to be bad. The art was mid-tier to begin with.
We're doing high schoolers again. I'm not usually really here for a high schooler harem anime. Say that 5 times fast.
Well, listen. It was 2003.
I know, that's all they knew. That's all they knew. I understand.
They didn't know anything other than that. Oh wait, that's not true. They already had fucking Tenchi Muyo. They already had fucking Love Hina, which was at least about basically adults.
Right.
Most of them.
I mean, woof.
I have gripes with that man.
Be so careful.
He's a freakish man. Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like,
what
is there to say? I mean,
honestly,
this was bad in a way that I could at least laugh at. Some shows are bad in a way that's boring. This was at least bad in a way that was interesting and funny to watch.
I do think that whoever was animating Kuroko was aware that it was slop and was doing their best to make her physical comedy work. And it kind of does.
She might be the best. She's very funny. I did laugh whenever she did her stupid little things.
She's just like, I'm going to fuck this man and be done with it. So I know some stuff that happens later that will make this show so much worse over time.
Does he explode? I've seen an episode on this and it all left my brain.
At one point, somewhere in the middle of this show, this motherfucker straight up dies.
Yes.
He uses his spells.
Make it.
He uses his spells. He dies.
He dies.
And he becomes a fucking ghost. And
right.
They continue. They just continue like that as normal.
I did think I remembered that.
This motherfucker's death does not affect the plot for at least 8 episodes or so.
This episode, what,
I
we
think
have 24 episodes of this?
I think at another point he acquires a sociopathic baddie, but which we unfortunately are not privy to in this. She is the straight up villain who also wants
Right,
to fuck him, but like evil
right.
style.
Evil style, yes. She wants his evil
So
babies, probably. Who
so
knows?
marks off for not introducing the best character archetype in the first episode. But otherwise, this is the yeah, this is slop for hogs. Then I feel worse for having seen.
I feel like this was an important touchstone in our shit anime cringe list. This is going in the cringe compilation, basically. Um, I mean, what else do we say about this? It was exactly what I expected.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, they gave us stupid, wacky hijinks for at least half of an episode.
Oh,
Even
don't
if the
worry.
first half was silly.
Don't worry. That's the show. They're gonna do the same
I
wacky
mean,
hijinks
yeah,
every
it's
episode
just
until
gonna
he
be
fucking
this.
dies, and then things will get weird for an episode, and then they'll continue. Then their
I
main problem will be that they can't fuck him because he's a ghost.
they were like, damn, I wish I had more of his magical cum. What are we supposed? What else is
And
there to say here?
they're gonna
I
have this.
mean,
They're gonna have him strapped to a fucking pumping machine like a boy and his
Jesus
dog.
fucking Christ! Oh, why didn't they like? Did he have to use magic? Like, he didn't have to use magic,
Oh no, he uses it for like the dumbest reasons. Remember,
right? Like, he made the snow,
he did the
right?
snow spell, which was like sweet, but a little less sweet whenever you realize that it was 1/8 of his life.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, yeah, slop for hogs. Anyway, if you'd like to fight us about this, you can do so at oneepisodecast@gmail.com.
That is one the word, not the number. If you want to send us more hogwash for us to force down our throats, we can also be reached on Twitter, Blue Sky. We are at One Episode Cast.
I I will require payment in advance.
Send us your most vile of garbage. We might watch it, maybe. I mean, depending on how vile it is. I mean, we haven't watched up straight up like hentai on here, have we? Like, this is considered ecchi, right? Like,
This is the I don't even think there was ecchi in this episode.
no, I mean, it was the
I think there
first
might be
episode,
some
so
later.
no. Maybe later,
It's
but
not as
like,
bad as Juden Chan or Conception.
I don't even want to think about some of those.
Um,
Is this tamer? I don't know. This might be tamer in a way.
oh yeah, but yeah, I'm finished with this.
Yeah, that's it, folks. We talked about it. We seen it. Are you happy? I hope you're happy.